Hi, and welcome to Professional Ethics and School Policies, using business management and ownership. Meet Sally Chu, who teaches business management and ownership in Southern California. Professional ethics are one of the first topics she introduces to students. She likes to bring in items from current news that are controversial so that the discussions she has with her students are based in real-world problems. Anyone can argue a hypothetical, but looking at the decisions real businesses make when balancing profit with ethics really gets students thinking. Sally likes to do projects with her students so she can embed the business management and economic concepts of her course into the context of owning their own businesses. One of her favorite projects is one that mimics the Shark Tank show on TV that many of her students watch. It's called Guppy Tank, No Business Too Small, and was written by Amber Krause, Andre Facilier, Loy Serrano, Jerry Spencer, and Sherry Colburn, and is available on the CTE website. Some of Sally's students jump right into the idea of creating their own product. In fact, students like Rob really like to push the boundaries. When she first introduced the project, he was full of innovative bong ideas. And while she admired his enthusiasm, Rob's a minor, and the topic wasn't one she felt comfortable having him present to the whole class. Sally couldn't argue that there's probably a decent market for Rob's product, but she knew she needed to move him in a different direction. Now, Sally has all of her students pitch 3 ideas to her privately, and she is the one who chooses what they'll pursue for the project. The incident with Rob did lead to an interesting class discussion about alcohol and other drugs in the workplace. It's an issue that business owners have to develop a policy on to guide their employees. As her students think about the businesses they're creating for the project, Sally shares that teachers like herself can be fired for working under the influence and must consent to be drug tested and fingerprinted. At her school, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons are allowed for students or teachers. Sally can't even use a box with an alcohol advertisement printed on the side for storage. Sally has a student named Despina who is an avid blogger and is very active on both Facebook and Instagram. Despina plans to market her product using social media. It's a terrific idea and very affordable for a small business, but there was an unexpected complication. Sally remembers Despina becoming very upset when Sally wouldn't friend her on Facebook. Sally used the incident as a teachable moment about professional boundaries. She explained how quickly innocent things can lead to questionable situations. When Despina is posting about her screen printing product, Sally's happy to have Despina show her the post in class. But if Despina shares posts that include pictures of parties with minors drinking beer, Sally knows that she needs to mention it to the school resource officer. As a result of chatting with some other teachers in the staff room, Sally has decided to change her personal privacy settings in Facebook. There had been rumors about a new teacher who'd had some inappropriate party pictures on his page, and so was pink slipped last year. While there's a freedom of speech issue there, Sally feels that preventing the issue by untagging herself in her friends' posts and keeping her own posts away from the gray areas is just an easier way to handle it. Sally did start a web page for her class through the school's website. That's where she can showcase student work and pictures of them if their parents have signed the picture waiver that the school sends out at the start of the year. Some parents don't want pictures of their students posted, so Sally keeps a list of those students handy just to be sure. The website is a great advertisement for her classes, so she doesn't want to ruffle any feathers. The targeting market portion of the Guppy Tank project brings up a whole other set of discussions with her students. They know sex sells. But it's not the only thing that sells, and she tries to help them see the boundaries with that issue as well by leading a discussion on sexual harassment. She uses the school's student handbook as a jumping off point, but also shares some real court cases where business owners were successfully sued because of the behavior they tolerated in their workplace. Since sexual harassment is more about perception than a specific set of rules, Sally shares how she herself always leaves her classroom door open, particularly if she's working on one-on-one with a student, and she never offers them a ride in her car or touches them in a way that could be misconstrued by them or others. Sally is also mindful to never leave her students unattended. If she has to step out for some reason, she opens the connecting door to a neighboring classroom and asks that teacher to keep an eye on her students. Sometimes school policies get in her way. Sally's school doesn't allow the use of cell phones, but she wants to use them in her class as a way to check for understanding. Sally does use an app called Plickers, where students use cards to respond to multiple choice questions that she poses. so she can use her phone to see how they're doing. Sally admits that when she first started teaching, it was overwhelming to remember all the school policies. She read the handbook and she learned what the student bathroom policy was, and she knew she wasn't allowed to hold students after class. But she also noticed that not every teacher followed those rules. She had to do some discreet observation and ask the vice principal to find out what really mattered and what didn't. Her students were always quick to tell her, "Mr. X never makes us carry a bathroom pass." So Sally has learned to respond with something along the lines of, good to know. I'll have to check with him on that. For now, I'm going to ask you to carry it, and we'll revisit this issue next time." Sally feels like she's modeling what good business managers do. They listen to complaints from employees and customers, they validate, they research the issue, and then they make a decision. Sally loves to have local business owners as guest speakers to come and talk about real concerns that they're facing in today's marketplace. She is careful to call ahead to the school receptionist and allow enough time in her planning for that guest speaker to sign in at the front desk, get a visitor's pass, and find her classroom. She's planning to have 3 local business owners come to act as her Guppy Tank panel at the end of the project. The Guppy Project, No Business Too Small, has another strand of learning through it that really captures the attention of students like Olivia, who are very socially minded. It's the whole issue of economics and the ripple effect of unemployment. It's bigger than one person just being out of work. There's psychological effects, public health concerns, lots for Olivia to dig into. Olivia feels that unions are the answer to many of these problems, so Sally shares the pros and cons of her own teacher union membership. Sally has the benefit of collective bargaining and a clear grievance process with a union representative to help her. But she has to pay monthly dues and doesn't always agree with the stance the union takes on some political issues. Not every teacher belongs to the union in her district, but every teacher has to pay dues. In other industries, unions can be a negative issue for a small business owner trying to get off the ground. The project really invites students to look at all sides of many of these issues. Thanks for watching.